World War II plane found intact under the sea. A shocking discovery that changed human history. The ocean, a vast and mysterious world, remains an unexplored territory. Although science has made significant advancements, there are still countless mysteries deep beneath the ocean's surface that we have yet to fully understand. Are there ancient shipwrecks waiting to be discovered? Or are there mythical treasures still hidden somewhere in dark underwater caves? Imagine being the first to witness marine creatures never seen before, or to discover natural wonders that exist only beneath the vast ocean. These strange discoveries deep under the sea not only amaze us, but also make us feel as though we are stepping into a completely different world. If you're an explorer at heart and always wonder what lies hidden in the depths of the sea, don't miss this video. We will take you on a journey to explore intriguing, mysterious things you may have never heard of before. Let's get started now. World War II airplane, still intact under the sea. On August 12, 2017, tourists visiting the Micronesian islands of Palau, located in Oceania, were stunned to discover a World War II-era aircraft. According to the Daily Mail, this plane was an Aichi E-13A, a Japanese seaplane designed for long-range maritime reconnaissance missions during the war. The plane is believed to have crashed and fallen into the sea during the conflict, and after more than 70 years, it remains intact on the ocean floor. The plane was discovered in a shallow area off the coast of Palau, and what amazed many people was that it had retained its nearly original shape after decades underwater. The plane's wings are still firmly attached to the fuselage, an astonishing sight when it comes to airplane wrecks on the ocean floor. After a photo of the aircraft was shared on social media, many expressed their amazement and admiration. One reader commented, "This looks like something out of a movie. It's unbelievable." Some even speculated that if the pilots had perished on the plane, they may have passed peacefully because the scenery was so beautiful and serene. However, there were also opposing views. One reader expressed dissatisfaction upon seeing two tourists kayaking near the wreckage, saying, "To me, kayaking next to a plane wreck is disrespectful to the pilots who sacrificed their lives." Meanwhile, Paul Beaver, a renowned aviation historian, stated that the plane was an Aichi E-13A, a special Japanese seaplane, and he called it a true monster. The plane had lost its float, but still retained many intact details despite the damage. Palau, where the plane was discovered, is a famous tourist paradise with over 500 islands and pristine, picturesque landscapes. It's not only an ideal location for nature lovers, but also a place that attracts those who wish to explore the history and remnants of World War II mysteries. The 13th century ghost town. The village of Fabbrice di Caragine is located in Garfagnana, in the province of Lucca, Tuscany, Italy. This ancient town from the 13th century was abandoned in 1947 due to the construction of a dam on the Edron River. The dam created the artificial reservoir of Lake de Vagli, which serves purposes such as hydroelectric power generation and water storage for the region in case of fires. In that year, Lake Vagli was flooded, and all the inhabitants were forced to leave Fabbrice di Caragine and move to the new town of Vagli di Sotto, located in the neighboring area of the lake. The village, dating back to the 13th century, gradually disappeared and became known as a ghost town. According to Visit Tuscany, the remains of houses, architectural structures, and streets of Fabbrice di Caragine lie beneath 34 million cubic meters of water, making the opportunity to explore this abandoned town very rare. The last time the village emerged from the deep lake was in 1994. At that time, thousands of people flocked to Fabbrice di Caragine to walk along its streets. Photographs taken show that beneath the water, the stone houses, cemetery, bridge, church, and bell tower of the village remained intact. The ship that sank 3 times. In 1863, the submarine H.L. Hunley set sail during the American Civil War to begin its first underwater journey. The mission of the crew, part of the Confederate Navy, was to end the Union blockade of Charleston Harbor. However, the submarine sank during its first mission attempt, and this was not the only time it met such a fate. 3 attempts were made to recover the H.L. Hunley from the seabed. The recovery team believed that the submarine sank the first time because it became entangled in ropes and was dragged underwater. After repairs, the Hunley set out again. but one of the crew members failed to close an important valve, causing the submarine to flood and sink a second time. The H.L. Hunley was recovered again, repaired, and sent on another mission in 1874. However, after successfully sinking the USS Housatonic, a Union ship, the Hunley sank for a third and final time, for reasons that remain unclear. No one knows what caused the Hunley's disappearance in 1874. It wasn't until 131 years later, in 1995, that the Hunley was found deep beneath the ocean, but what remained was corroded and shattered. The recovery effort was difficult, and it wasn't until 2000 that researchers successfully raised the submarine and began their investigations. However, due to the extent of the damage to the hull, experts feared that some of the crew's belongings and equipment might still lie on the ocean floor. They carefully explored the ship in hopes of discovering invaluable artifacts inside. 2,000-year-old artifact worth more than gold. A large shipwreck, never before seen, has been discovered by scientists near the Fiskardo fishing port off the coast of Kefalonia Island in Greece, located in the Mediterranean Sea. The ancient ship, which archaeologists have recorded as being 34 meters long and 12.6 meters wide, was carrying a crew and many valuable artifacts. What most astonished archaeologists was the discovery of 6,000 well-preserved jars of wine, so well kept that some have speculated divine intervention might have been involved. The entire batch of wine is preserved in amphorae, ceramic vessels with large handles and sealed with stoppers. Greek researchers say the ship dates back to the Roman era, between 146 BC and 330 AD, around the time of the birth of Jesus Christ. They suggest that the wine, preserved beneath the sea, is more precious than gold, with some even questioning whether modern people could taste such high-quality wine that has been aged for thousands of years by the ancient world. The ancient Romans had methods for preserving food, such as using honey and salt as preservatives to keep food from spoiling longer. They also knew how to pickle food, make smoked meats, and ham to prolong freshness. Common storage containers included barrels, amphorae, ceramic jars, and clay pots. Pavlopetri ruins in Greece. One of the oldest submerged urban ruins in the world is Pavlopetri, located beneath the Mediterranean Sea near Laconia in Greece, with an estimated age of 5,000 years. Some believe that Pavlopetri holds a resemblance to the ancient city of Atlantis described by Plato, as it predates the legend of Atlantis. The ancient city of Pavlopetri was discovered in 1967 by Nicholas Fleming, and later excavated by a team of archaeologists led by him at the University of Cambridge in the UK. It was a groundbreaking discovery for researchers studying the Stone Age and Bronze Age. The Pavlopetri site is truly unique, with main streets, buildings, gardens, stone tombs, and religious structures all clearly visible beneath the sea, Fleming said. What happened to the ancient city of Pavlopetri to turn it into a pristine piece of human history? There is a theory that the city sank due to an earthquake or a tsunami, but in any case, the city has never resurfaced and could not be rebuilt, which helped it preserve its values perfectly beneath the sea. 900-year-old treasure at the bottom of Haifa Bay. While diving in Haifa Bay in the Mediterranean, Shlomi Katzin, an amateur diver, unexpectedly discovered a valuable sword from the Crusades. The sword is at least 900 years old and about 1 meter in length. Despite being covered in marine organisms and submerged for over 900 years, the sword was in remarkably good condition. Kobe Sharvit, an expert with the Israel Antiquities Authority, IAA, stated that the sword was buried in sand and covered in marine life, making it difficult to detect even though it was only about 3 meters deep. A change in the current eventually swept away the thick layer of sand, revealing the sword. According to archaeologists, the sword likely belonged to a Crusader knight. The Crusades were a series of religious wars that took place between 1095 and 1291. Crusader knights came from all over Western Europe, and at the Pope's call, they waged continuous wars to reclaim Jerusalem, the Holy Land of Christianity, which was under Muslim control. Shlomi Katzin also found other artifacts near the sword, including stone anchors and pottery. He reported his findings to the IAA, fearing the artifacts would be stolen if left on the sea floor. The IAA declared, "This is a beautiful, rare sword found in perfect condition. Aside from its age, its historical value makes it a priceless treasure in the history of human archaeology." the 7,000-year-old road. Recently, archaeologists made an exciting discovery off the coast of Korčula Island in Croatia, an ancient road linked to a lost maritime culture known as the Var civilization, whose people inhabited the region during the Neolithic period. This remarkable discovery was made by Igor Borzic, a researcher at the Department of Archaeology at the University of Zadar. The road was found after Borzic detected unusual structures about 4.57 meters underwater in Gradina Bay on the western coast of Korčula. Along the road, the research team found flint blades, stone axes, and millstone fragments, furthering our understanding of the mysterious Var people who lived in the area around 7,000 years ago. Numerous underwater ruins and artifacts from the Var civilization have been discovered, including a settlement built on an artificial island. The recently discovered road served as a link between this island and the mainland of Korčula. The Var civilization left behind many artifacts, including ornaments and pottery, shedding light on their subsistence farming practices and burial rituals. Excavations are not limited to underwater surveys, but also extend to ancient sites on land. One such site is a cave near the town of Vela Luka, which has been continuously inhabited by various cultures for at least 19,000 years, including the Var people. Ongoing archaeological research promises to reveal more fascinating details about the maritime civilization that thrived in the region thousands of years ago. Slave shipwreck. A steam-powered ship with paddle wheels was discovered at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico, about 2 nautical miles off the town of Sisal in Yucatan in 2017. It wasn't until 3 years of research that archaeologists identified the wreck as the slave ship La Unión. The ship sank on September 19, 1861, while transporting Maya people sold into slavery to Cuba, proving that slavery persisted in Mexico despite its abolition in 1829. La Unión had been used for the illegal transportation of slaves from 1855 to 1861, during a time when the Maya were forced to work unpaid on sugar plantations, leading to a rebellion known as the Caste War. Archaeologist Helena Barba Meinica stated that the ship would transport 25 to 30 slaves to Cuba every month. Each slave was sold for 25 pesos, equivalent to $1.18, to the traders, and then resold to plantation owners in Havana for much higher prices, about 160 pesos for men and 120 pesos for women. Experts have determined that the cause of La Unión's sinking was an explosion in its boiler, which set the ship on fire. The accident resulted in the deaths of half of the 80 crew members and 60 passengers. However, it is unclear how many Maya people perished, as at that time they were listed as cargo, not passengers. The archaeological team has found many artifacts, including glass fragments from bottles, porcelain items, and 8 bronze scissors used by passengers in the first-class cabin. This discovery highlights a tragic past in Mexico that must be acknowledged and studied in its historical context. The Maya were a powerful civilization in Central America, flourishing across Mexico from around 2000 BCE until they were conquered by the Spanish Empire and enslaved in the 16th century. The conquest erased much of the unique character of the Maya civilization, but many villages remained isolated from colonial rule and continued to preserve their culture. 1,500-year-old sword. In legend, King Arthur's reign was foretold by a woman at the lake who gave him the sword Excalibur. Similarly, 8-year-old Saga Vanecek from Sweden discovered an ancient sword dating back over 1,000 years in a lake. According to archaeologists at the Jönköping's Lands Museum, the sword may originate from the Viking era or even from the time of Arthur in the 5th or 6th century. Moreover, the fact that the young girl shares the name Saga in her surname further suggests she could be destined for a legendary role. Vanecek found the heavily rusted weapon one summer while swimming in Lake Vidöstern in Småland with her family. When she showed the ancient artifact to her family, her father recognized its potential value and asked friends for advice on who to report it to. The father then contacted Annie Rosane, an archaeologist at the Jönköping's Lands Museum, who immediately returned from her vacation to examine and study the ancient weapon. The sword is about 85 centimeters long and still has remnants of wood and metal around it. However, the reason it was found in Lake Vidöstern remains unclear. When archaeologists searched here a few weeks ago, they found another artifact, a brooch, dating to the same time period as the sword. This shows there is much more we don't yet know about this place. The treasure off the coast of Egypt. A team of underwater archaeologists, led by French marine archaeologist Frank Gaudiot, made many new discoveries at the Temple of Amun in the ancient port city of Thonis-Heracleon, located in Abu Qir Bay, Egypt. The team investigated the southern canal of the city, where several massive stone blocks from the temple collapsed during a great flood in the mid-2nd century BCE. The Temple of Amun was where pharaohs came to receive the power of kingship from the supreme gods of ancient Egypt. Valuable artifacts from the temple were uncovered, including silver ritual tools, gold jewelry, and broken jars containing perfume or ointments. These artifacts bear witness to the wealth of the temple and the devotion of the city's ancient residents. Notably, an area dedicated to the Greek goddess Aphrodite was discovered to the east of the temple. Here, the archaeological team found copper and ceramic artifacts, indicating that the Greeks, who were allowed to settle and trade in the city during the Scythe dynasty, also had a place to worship their own gods. Additionally, the discovery of Greek weapons suggests the presence of Greek mercenaries in the area, guarding the entrance to the kingdom at the Canopic branch of the Nile River, the largest and most navigable branch of the river. In addition to these artifacts, the team also found underground structures supported by well-preserved wooden columns and beams dating back to the 5th century BCE. The ruins of the ancient city of Thonis-Heracleon were discovered by the European Institute of Underwater Archaeology in 2000. The city now lies underwater, about 7 kilometers off the Egyptian coast. For many centuries, it was Egypt's largest Mediterranean port until Alexander the Great founded the city of Alexandria in 331 BCE. However, rising sea levels and earthquakes, followed by a tsunami, caused widespread liquefaction of the soil, sinking a vast area of about 110 square kilometers of the Nile Delta to the seabed, including Thonis-Heracleon. The bodies at the bottom of the mysterious blue hole in the ocean. On April 11, 2019, a chilling discovery took place at the famous Blue Hole in Belize. The research team found the bodies of long-dead divers at the bottom of the hole. Leo Erica Bergman, a renowned explorer, was the first to discover the skeletons of 2 divers who had been lost in the hole. After the discovery, she immediately alerted local authorities. Upon inspection, they decided to leave the divers' remains undisturbed at the bottom of the sea, a respectful decision for the unfortunate souls. The Blue Hole, one of the world's most famous dive sites, spans over 300 meters wide and reaches depths of up to 125 meters. It is not only a tourist attraction for explorers, but also a place that holds many mysteries. In fact, no one knows exactly how many people have died while trying to explore the hole. Bergman stated that these 2 divers could be part of a group of 3 people who were recently reported missing. One major danger of the Blue Hole is the harsh environment at such great depths. About 90 meters below the surface, there is a layer of hydrogen sulfide, an extremely toxic and corrosive compound. In this area, the water is oxygen deprived, and the presence of hydrogen sulfide increases the risk of death for those who are unprepared. This is why many divers have had accidents while exploring this area. The Blue Hole is located in Belize City, Belize, and was formed during the Ice Age when sea levels were much lower than they are today. As sea levels rose, the hole became submerged and formed a large system of underwater caves. Scientists believe that the Blue Hole is not only a destination for divers, but also a graveyard for those who perished while attempting to uncover its mysteries. This discovery once again reminds us of the dangers and unsolved mysteries beneath the sea, particularly in areas like the Blue Hole, where not everyone survives after facing nature's challenges. The vast ocean always holds mysterious secrets. In just a short video, we can't reveal all the mysteries that the vast ocean has hidden for thousands, even millions of years. This shows how small we are compared to the countless wonders around us. What do you think of today's topic? Do you know of any other mysterious archaeological sites beneath the ocean? Don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments below for everyone to explore. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications if you enjoy our video. Now, goodbye, and see you next time.